All right, this is a quick video for self-care maintenance during this coronavirus time where we're all stuck at home. I'm hoping that you've got somebody to help you with this, because it would be much easier when they're watching this video with you. That would make it a lot easier. I'm going to do this video in different ways. First, we're going to do it on the mannequin, so you can watch the process. And then I might show you a little bit of me doing it on myself, and then probably some on my beloved David. So look out for those videos coming up. So what we're going to do. So you can imagine your dreads have been, these are a mock version, obviously I made up today. All right, so you're letting your dreads down and you've got crossovers coming in, you've got loose hair, you've got lumps and bumps coming out, and maybe if you've got really fresh young dreads, your ends are looking a bit too soft or something and they're softening off. I don't know, there's going to be so many different scenarios to deal with, but we'll just try and address some of the main ones. So once you've got your head of dreads down, obviously they're completely bone dry and have been thoroughly washed, and we'll address all that in another video. And you might, just go through and have a little look and see what's going on. And it is kind of nice just to sort of start working at the nape of the neck. Everyone's been for maintenance, so you know what you're looking out for and how to set yourselves up, clips and combs and all that shit. So you just clip off an area, all right, and this will reveal usually the first 3 dreads, all right, and you'll have loose bits of hair around your neck, and you'll have some crossovers, a little bit like this one there, all right. So what I would recommend first to do is to get these crossover hairs sorted and looked at. I hope you can see that. So what I tend to do is I just sort of see what's going on right round at the scalp and just drag my finger and find the hair there. And you see how it sort of loops on my finger? And I just get a pair of little scissors and I cut straight away, just like that. All right. Try not to rip them apart, because it does create a bit more of a mess and you pull out lengths of hair. But by doing this, you end up with 2 little short bits on either side. One will go to one side of the dread and one go to the other side of the dread, and it's easy. All right, and then what I would do is I just get a comb. You can flick the hair back with a comb just by dragging it down like this, to separate the sections a little bit if you want to. There's no drama, just use your fingers. I tend to use my fingers more than anything. And just get a clip and just clip one dread out the way. Clip the ones above out the way. Just so you can see really what's going on in the section, like that. And you do the same on the other one. You just kind of look for where things go, okay? And then what I would do then is I just gather all the hair. Gather all the hair and give it a little twist. Now it's like 3/4 of a twist or a full twist, doesn't really matter, but just so you've got it feeling tight to the scalp and you feel like you've gathered all the hair in the right spots. All right, and then what you're going to get your little hook, and the hook size I like to use is a 0.6, okay? Those are called schools of thoughts and different size hooks, but this is the one I like to use. So, and you can buy these in Spotlight, or I've got a supply here that I can post out. So just let me know. All right, and what you do is you're going to put this finger pushes firmly up against the dread, all right, and with your hook facing down, you put the hook in the middle of the dread, and you find a loop of hair here, and you literally, I touch my finger and then drag that hair into the middle of the dread. And you're going to do it again. Put the hook in and drag that hair into the middle of the dread. Just like that. Hook in and drag that hair into the middle of the dread. Now I'm not doing anything too fussy. I'm just pulling in that hair into the middle. Now you can speed up in time, or just leave it like that. The other way you can do it is to pinch the dread and drag it in again just by feel. And sometimes that feel is better because you can slowly twist the dread between your finger and your thumb. And you do a backwards and forwards motion like that. I find that's a really safe way to do self-maintenance. On me, it's more of a feel thing. So you can feel the hook working between your fingers and in the middle of the dread by pinching really hard. All right, so can you see where that lump was on this side? It was here. It was pulled in. Now, you're going to have some bits of hair hanging down like that. Now what you want to do is to get yourself a little comb like this, all right? And you want to back comb that hair up a little bit. If you don't have a comb, you can rough it up with your fingers and do that. Any which way you want to rough it up. And see how I've got another section of hair here I've got to work back in. Same principle, put the hook face down, hook side down, and drag it along my finger. Put it in, drag it along my finger. Put it in and drag it along my finger. I'm slowing it down to really try and show you. I'm hoping I'm getting this on the camera. Right, you see how that all just came in? Again. Now some people pull it out, put the hook in and wrap it around and then pull it through. I think it's okay, but it's just like you do that and pull it through. Do that, and pull it through. I don't feel like it stays on the hook every single time I do that, so I prefer to do this way. So you've roughed it up, you're pushing your hook onto your finger and you're literally dragging that hair in. Drag it in, drag it in, drag it in, drag it in, drag it in. Alright, so you've got the hair worked into that side. Now what you want to do is twist the dread a little bit and pull it in again this side. And now you can see how I've got my hook at a bit of an angle like that. You can do it like that and you can do it like that. Or you can do it like this. It doesn't matter which way, as long as you're comfortable and you're dragging in hair, it doesn't matter which way you do it. You keep pulling in, you keep pulling in, and you keep pulling in. Alright. See how that's just all come in, worked its way in? Now, don't do it too much. You don't want to overwork your dreads. You want your dreads to be able to self-mat themselves. You're just creating a bit of a foundation. See how we've pulled in that bit of hair there? All right. And then obviously you've got to do a bit of a palm roll, which I can't do around this camera, but you'll palm roll it a little bit. All right. So that's a good bit for pulling in around the root section there. And see, it was like that, and now it's like that. All right. And I think for these times of what we're doing, that's good enough. I think that's pretty cool. All right, so the next thing, so the one next to it is the same thing. See how that hair's there, loose, coming out? You got to gather the hair. You can use the other end of the hook and just gather the hair down like that towards where the dread is matted. I kind of like I do that every time, to be honest, in the studio. And we're going to do a little twist. So we've got a twist happening. And we're going to get in there and drag the hair across. Drag, drag, drag. Now, this is just, to get us out of trouble. This is not the stitching that we do in the studio. This is just a pulling in method, which is a valid method. A lot of people just use this method to make dreads entirely. But we actually stitch around the hair as well. You see how much that's pulled in? You see you've got that little bit there left. Rough it up with your fingers. Push it up towards the dread, and again, pull it in. All right. See how that's pulled in nicely? Now, I think that's good enough maintenance for now. Do you know what I mean? You can always get and see a dread tech after all this, once we get our freedom back, hey? Okay, so I'm just going to show you some lumps and bumps, because a lot of people complain about lumps and bumps. They do eventually pull themselves in, but, you know, with fresh dreads, it's nice to get them looked at. So you see we've got this lump here. Let's put her head up a bit. You see that lump there? And that side there. And it will feel like a bit soft and baggy, all right? So what you want to do in a situation like this is I like to try and bring the knots from up here into this section and the knots from down here into this section, all right, after I've pulled it in. So same principle, hook facing my finger, in through the dread, drag it along the finger, drag along the finger, and we're just literally touching the finger. We're not like scratching the finger, we're just guiding it, all right? So we've dragged in that loop. Now with real hair, obviously it's going to take a little bit longer, blah, blah, blah. So again, in, drag it in. And then what I like to do, like I said, is I put the dread on the side, and I put the hook down the middle of the dread, and I like to pull the knots up from below, and I like to pull the knots up from above. Now that is a really good way to fill out any soft spots. You're just moving the knots around inside the dread. And that is really why, you know, palm rolling is really important, because you're reshuffling the knots inside the dread when they're wet. And if you do it really well, you actually feel it happening. So you see how I've just done that? So just pulling in, pulling in. Again, I'm pinching and just feeling the hook inside the dread. All right. Now, if you've got some really long ends that you're not too keen on anymore and you just want a little bit more of dreading happening, what you can do, I'm just going to pull the camera out a bit more. I'll just hook it off on here, actually. See that bit there? Just got a comb, any old comb, and just tease it back up again, like that. You don't want to have big lumps in your teasing. You want just, you know, short stabby motions, so you just get like a bit of matting happening. All right, and get your hook and do exactly the same thing. Pull it in. Pull, 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 pull. And that will just give you another inch of dread if that's what you want. Or you can do it a little bit more along here if you wanted to. All right. And again, palm roll it off. Now that should be enough to get you out of trouble. All right. Okay, what else can I show you? Another thing we can do is what we're calling emergency maintenance. So if you've got dreads that are, and you just can't do this, you can't do the hook thing, you haven't got anyone to help you, it's just, you know, I don't know, whatever situation you're in, and you just is not happening. This is a nice way to do maintenance. We do it on children because we don't like doing hook work on kids. So you just get some, this is called the Dr. Locs Matrix thread, and you can get it all different colours. I'm just using this one because I'm hoping it's going to show up a bit better on camera, but it's like elastic, it's crazy. Now you can also use bonded nylon thread, which is like a super duper thread. Cotton thread is probably all right, but it kind of doesn't hold so well. Now this is an emergency thing. Now you only do this to last like a month, and then you can take it out. It's not something you leave in. And the other important thing about this, you don't do it super tight. All right. So again, so you've got this going on here, and maybe you've had a go at this, right? And you've done that, and you feel happy, and you feel like you just want it to be a bit more secure. You can use the thread on top of that as well. All right. But if we're not doing any hook work, we're just going to, maybe with the end of a comb, like that, just going to drag the hair into the right position, dragging it from the scalp down to the dread base. All right, like that. I'm going to give it a little twist. Again, it's got a bit of twist happening. Now what I like to do is to hold the thread. I've cut it to about, that's, how many inches is that? I don't know. 4 inches, 6 inches. All right, and I'm going to hold that along the dread, and this end I'm going to wrap around the root base towards the scalp. And it's going to go around twice. All right, and then, so that one's reasonably tight, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the dread, going down like that. Can you see that? All right. And then with the other end that I've been holding off against the dread, I'm just going to tie 3 knots. 2, 3. All right, so you've got that going on. And clip these really short, like that. All right, now it's not super tight, it's tight here, but this bit isn't that tight. It's just enough to hold it together. You don't want it to suffocate the dread. You don't want it to prevent it from matting underneath, all right? But that is a really, really good emergency sort out. Now, when you come back for maintenance or in a month's time at home or whatever, you snip it out. You snip with your little scissors here and here, all right? I think I'm saying all right a lot. So yeah, so that's an emergency method, all right? I don't think it's a good method to use all the time. Like I say, I use it on kids because I don't like to do any hook work anymore on them because it's too painful. But it's good. Other people do use it as a maintenance method anyway, so that's cool. So you could then also, like I said earlier, just pop it on that as well. All right. What else can I tell you? I think that's it really. So I've shown you how to separate and make clear spaces, clear lines between your dreads, if you've got lines. If not, just make sure your dreads are sort of separated best they can. Snip between them. Work the dread here with a hook, pulling in, pulling in, pulling in. Roughing up the ends and working that into the dread, and then just working down the dread a little bit. Shown you how to pull in these blowouts, and I've also shown you how to do that little bit there. But if you want any more help or any more guidance, I am offering like one-on-one telephone calls or FaceTime videos to deal with real specific problems. Like if you've got really rogue dreads and you really want to learn how to do it, I'm doing tutorials that way as well, so you're getting really deep one-on-one learning, so you can do it that as well. That is a paid service, but you know, just trying to keep everybody happy and safe during this time. So yeah, reach out if you want to do it that way. If not, have a crack. Nothing really horrific is going to happen to your dreads between now and when you get a professional to do maintenance on them again. So don't panic, everybody. It's all cool. It's all going to be fine. Dreads are awesome regardless. They're always fixable and they are always easy to care for if you just do a few basic things. Good washing, good palm rolling, and a bit of maintenance. All right. I hope this has helped. I'm going to do a video on washing, I think, and yeah, see where we go. All right, take care all, stay safe, stay well, and I think you need to all stay sane. All right, cheers mate, bye.